I'm Sam. Welcome to Sam Speaks. Today, I'm going to tell you about one of the silliest wars in history. It's called the Lobster War. It began in 1961 when French fishing vessels were caught catching lobsters off the coast of Brazil. Brazil argued that lobsters were a part of their continental shelf because they crawl on it. This made them a part of Brazil's natural resources.
It's mine!
France countered that lobsters swim freely like fish and therefore could be fished internationally.
Oh non, pas ça!
In early 1962, the Brazilian warship Ipiranga seized the French fishing vessel Cassiope 10 miles off the northeastern coast of Brazil.
Freeze. You're under arrest.
Throughout 1962, a diplomatic dispute between the two countries ensued. Brazil claimed that the lobsters were in the exclusive economic zone of the country. France quoted the 1958 Geneva Convention guidelines for high seas fishing. Ironically, neither country had signed the convention. The whole war centered around the question: could lobsters be considered as fish?
Yes, no, maybe. I don't know.
France argued that the lobster moved by swimming, making it a fish.
Keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
In response, Commander Paulo de Castro of the Brazilian Navy said, if every time a lobster swims, it should be considered a fish, then every time a kangaroo hops, it must be considered a bird.
I believe I can fly.
As more French fishing boats came to the Brazilian coast to fish for lobsters, the Brazilians became angrier.
I told you never to do it again!
They decided to send warships from the Navy to escort the French out of their territory. Though peacefully approached by Brazilian warships, the French fishermen didn't stop. Instead, they requested help from the French government.
Oui.
At the time, the leader of the French was the former general and war hero Charles de Gaulle.
Salut.
In February 1963, French warships headed toward the Brazilian coast.
A warship has come.
De Gaulle sent destroyers and an aircraft carrier to the Atlantic Ocean. He did this to guard the fishing boats as they continued their lobster fishing in Brazilian waters. Brazilian Foreign Minister Hermes Lima declared that the French approach was an act of hostility. He said, "The lobster will not be caught!" The Brazilian government mobilized the Navy and Air Force in preparation for war.
Scramble the jets.
In March 1963, the French withdrew their ships from the Brazilian coast, but the diplomatic war hadn't ended yet. The Lobster War finally ended on December 10th, 1964, when the two countries signed an agreement.
Peace out.
Brazil expanded its territorial waters to 200 miles, which included the lobster area. France was allowed to fish for lobsters in the area for 5 years in limited quantities. The two countries shared the profits from the lobster catch and everyone was happy. They never figured out if a lobster was a fish or not. And that is the story of the Lobster War. Thank you for listening to Sam Speak. This is Sam signing off.